This is treble clef Jenga. When you come to this station, you and your team will sit around the stool or stand around the stool, depending on which one you're at, and you will pull out one block at a time. So when you pull out your block, you're going to look at it and you're going to check it out and see, okay, this is in a space, so face for space. So F, A, C. This note is C. Once you have that figured out, your whole group checks over, make sure you're right. You put it on the top, the opposite direction. Then the next person in the circle goes. They're gonna pull out their piece. Oh, funnily enough, I got another C. So we would check it out. It's a space, F, A, C. Check it out, everybody knows it's right. We put it on top. Then the next person goes. Good news, I didn't pull another C. I look at this one and I say, okay, it's another space. So I know face for space, F, A. This is an A, my group checks it, make sure it's okay, and I put it on top. You keep playing until the tower falls. When the tower falls, you put it back together and keep playing. When time is up at the station, you're going to take your tower and you're going to put it back in the container here. If anyone in your group needs extra help, there is a helper sheet right in the box. You can check it out to help each other. Or if someone in your group is an expert, they'll help the other members of the group. So everything you need in the box.
This station over here will be in my room, 281. It is rhythm Jenga, and it's very similar to treble clef Jenga. Whoever goes first is gonna go ahead and you kind of want to poke around until you find a loose one. And then you're going to carefully take it out. And we do have a rhythm here, but unlike treble clef Jenga, this one, if you're the one that pulled it out, you have to put it down on the bench like this. And then you use your hands while you say the rhythm to clap it. So this one is ta, ti, ti, sh, ta. And then your whole group will repeat it like this. Ta, ti, ti, sh, ta. Then you put it on the top. And then the next person goes, like I said, poke around until you find one that's a little loose. And here's a new one. Again, if you're the one that pulled it, you put it on the bench, you use your hands and you say it. The leader says it, and then both people or everyone in your group says it back. Ti, ti, sh, ti, ti, ta.
Ti, ti, sh, ti, ti, ta.
If you happen to pick one that has a tika tika, you have a couple choices. You can either do tika tika, or if that's a little too fast, you can do it on your lap like this. Ta, ta, tika tika ta. So that's rhythm Jenga. When you're done, you're just gonna go ahead, put all of the pieces back in the box, put the lid on, and then give it back to Mrs. Webster.
These are Twister. There's gonna be two different versions of Twister, one in my room and one in Miss Harrow's room. The one in my room is Rhythm Twister. If you look at the circles, they all have different rhythms on them. So you're gonna take turns being the spinner. You don't want the same person to be the spinner all the time because that's like super boring. So the spinner is going to spin and they're gonna look at where it lands. This one says left foot, red, ti-ti-ta, two. So if I was the person listening and waiting for something to put my foot on, I'd find the red, ti-ti-ta, two, and I would put my foot on it. You will have your shoes off for this game, so hopefully you're wearing socks. If you don't remember socks, you can play barefoot, just not quite as fun. Then it's gonna be somebody else's turn. Another spinner spins the board. This one is also a left foot, and it says left foot, ti-ti-ta, ta, ta. And it's green, so I'm gonna find the green, ti-ti-ta, ta, ta, and it's all the way down here. So left foot would go right there. You'll also have your hands on it. It's really up to whatever the spinner says. So taking turns doing this, no shoes on the mat because we don't want to cause any more tears in it. You can play two different ways, you guys. If you love to get twisted up with your team, absolutely, they'll twist it up. But if you're like, oh, I don't really like to be touched so much, you can absolutely play like, okay, it says right hand, yellow, ta, shush, shush, ta. and put your right hand there. You don't have to be up in the air and twisting. And then you can come back off and wait for your next turn. It's completely up to you. It's not really about the game of Twister, it's more about making sure you know all of your rhythms. Over on our other board, we have kind of a mix of rhythm and treble clef. It's mostly treble clef with a few rhythms thrown in. So on this one, same deal. You're gonna take turns with the spinner. Sometimes you're spinning, sometimes you are not. Spinner spins. This one says left foot, red B. Red line B. So I'm gonna look at the red and I'm gonna find the line B. There it is, right in the middle. And I'm gonna put my left foot on it. Then it's somebody else's turn. They spin, says right hand, green G. So I'm gonna find the green G and a right hand is going to go on it. Okay, and this will be somebody else's turn. So it wouldn't be my right hand, it'd be my other teammate's right hand, but you get the idea. When you are done playing Twister, this is so important. When you are folding Twister, you have to fold it neatly so it's not a wrinkly mess. When you fold, you're gonna take it in half, and then you're gonna kind of line it up the best you can, and then you're going to smooth the crease. This is the most important step, the smoothing. Then fold it in half again, and smooth the crease. One more time here. Line it up the best you can. It does not have to be perfect, but smooth the creases. Again, smooth your creases. One more, smooth your creases. And as long as it fits in the box, it's good to go. When you put it away, you take your spinner and your mat. Spinner goes first, then your mat sits in there nicely, close it back up, and bring it over to my room so I can put it away. That is Twister.
This one is our rhythm bowling station, and you'll notice over here we have 3 different boxes. We have set 1, set 2, and then we have a box that has all of your bowling balls. Also, it's going to have 2 pencils and a score sheet. The first thing you're going to want to do is take one score sheet and put the names of your team members down the side. Now, most of you have groups of 6 or 7, so you're only going to have 3 or 4 people per team. One half of your team will play with set 1, the other half will play with set 2. Please note that we have on the bottom of the bowling pins which set it comes from. So make sure that you are cleaning them up in the right box. So if this is number 2, it has to go into set 2. When you clean up today after this section, all the bowling balls and the pencils go back in this box. So how you play is you're going to set up your bowling pins like so. You're going to make a triangle and you're going to have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Make sure you don't put them too close together because you do want to have a little bit of a challenge. Then you'll go about halfway down. Be careful of the people behind you that are bowling the other way. You'll give it a bowl and you'll see what you knocked down. Then you're going to collect the pins that you knocked down. So I knocked down 5 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you come over to your score sheet. And I'm going to use this handy dandy little helper at the bottom if I need it. So I knocked over the 16th notes, the tika tika. That is 1 beat, so that gives me 1 point. I knocked over the quarter note, the ta. That gives me another point. Another ta, so that's another point. So 1, 2, 3 so far. A half note is 2 points. And the 8th note's the TT, a tricky one. It is 2 notes, but it's beamed together as 1 beat. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And my turn, I'm Miss Harrow, so I got 6 points. Mrs. Whoopser, she went before me. She actually got 10 points. So everyone gets a turn, and then you go back and you do frame number 2, and you'll do as many frames as you have time for. When you clean up, again, make sure that all of your pins are going into the right box. This one here says number 1. It goes into box number 1. Your pencils back in here, bowling balls back in here, and you can take your score sheet with you. This station is called Memory Match, and the first thing you're gonna do is, if your group has 6 people, you're gonna have 2 people per bag. There are 3 bags in the box, and this here is bag number 2. So you will notice that on the cards, all of them have the number 2 on them. If you have a card that doesn't have number 2, then it belongs to somebody else, and you'll wanna figure that out first. Each card has a side with a bird on it, and that is the back of the card. And then either it'll say line or space with some words, or it will show you a note. That is the front. You're gonna start with the front up, and you're gonna make 4 rows of 6. So just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and do it 4 times. The first time you play, each person is going to take turns finding the matches. So the easiest way to do this is find the note. So if I pick this one right here, I'm gonna go, is this a space or is this a line? And I'm gonna see there's a line going through it. If the note is on a line, every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. So that is a line note, and it's F. So now I need to try to find the one that says line F, and I see that it's right there. It says line F, so I will take these, and I have made my first match. Then it's the other person's turn. They're gonna do the same thing. So maybe they find this one, and they see that this is a space. If the note is in a space, you can punch it in the face, F-A-C. And there's your C, so this is a space, that's the letter C. So I have to find space C. I see it's there, and then that person gets that match. You're gonna do that until all of the cards have been matched up. Don't forget, we do have some helper sheets in the box. So if you forget some of the trickier ones, like the gorilla above the staff, the dog that digs underneath to chase the cat, they are here. Also, this cat, we call it the middle C because it is in the very middle of the piano. So this cat one, again, middle C. After you find all your matches, then your next job is you're going to take the cards and you're gonna flip them all over to the bird side. Make sure you mix them up before you do that. So again, you're gonna do 4 rows of 6 and flip them all over. And then it becomes a regular memory game. So if it's my turn, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip over 2 different cards. So I might flip over this one, and I might flip over this one. Now, it's really important that you leave them on the ground so that the other player can see where they are. I know right away that I did not make a match because I have 2 cards that have words on them. And a match, remember, is a musical note and words. But I have to remember where those are. So I'd flip it over and it would be somebody else's turn. So they would flip over. There's a note, maybe I'll try this one. Okay, so now I might have a match. I do have a note and I do have some words, but I'm gonna look at it and go, that's a space. F-A, so that is space A. That does not say space A, so that is not a match. If you do find a match, what you're gonna do, let's say these 2 are matches. If you do find a match, you're gonna keep your cards and you get to go a second time. And your turn continues until you find one that is not a match. Whoever has the most matches at the end of the game wins, and if you have extra time, you can mix them up and start again.
This is Treble Clef Detective. You and your team are going to grab this box and you're going to take it to the hallway. Once you get into the hallway, you're going to decide who's going to be on which half of which team. So you're going to split into 2, probably about 3 and 3, maybe 4 and 3. You're going to get a paper with a clipboard and you're going to get a pencil for your half. Each half needs one thing. You don't all need a paper. You're going to split into 2. So half of you are going to start down here on number 20 and half of you are going to start all the way down there on number 1. If you're starting on number 20, make sure you start at number 20 on the paper. What you're gonna do is you're gonna look up here and you're gonna go, okay, this is a line note. So I know that line notes are every good boy does fine. Every good. I write down the letter G. Then I go, okay, this one's a space note. If the note is in a space, you can punch it in the face. F, A. My second letter is A. I go back up, oh, I've already done this note before, so I already know this is a G. Then I look here and I say, okay, space note. If the note is in a space, you can punch it in the face. F-A-C-E. E. This spells gauge. I'm gonna go all the way down. The other half of my team will have started at number 1 and they will go all the way to 20. Whichever team finishes first are our winners. Once you're done, you're going to take your finished paper back to the box here. You're going to get out the top secret answer key. You're going to open it up and you are going to check to see if you got it right. So you'll set this down. You'll look, and this one says number 20 is gauge. So I'm gonna write down gauge for number 20. I know I got that right, it's a match. All right, so you check over your answer key with this. Once you're done, you're going to take the box back into my room. You're going to take your paper off and you're gonna put a brand new paper on this one before you clean it up. If you finish with time left on the clock, you can always turn your paper over and play some tic-tac-toe on the back, or you can choose to sit quietly in the back of my room and just kind of chit-chat with your friends for a few minutes because you're awesome and you finished early. That is Treble Clef Detective. This is the worksheet center. When you get here, you're going to open up the container and you're going to take a paper out of folder number 1 first. Once you get your paper out, you're going to grab a clipboard from the room and you're going to get a pencil from the box. Once you get that, you're going to go over to your paper with your clipboard and you're going to answer some different questions. So right here, I look at number 1. Notice how it's straight up from number 1. And it is a line note. So I'm going to say, if the note is on a line, every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. So my answer is F. I'm going to write an F in spot number 1. Then I look at number 2. It's straight up from the number 2. Another line note. So if the note is on a line, every good boy does fine. Every. So my answer is E. I write an E right here. I look at my next one. It's a space note, straight up for number 3. If the note is in a space, you can punch it in the face. F-A-C-E. The answer is E. I write an E on number 3. You're going to do this for the entire paper. Once you are done with number 1, you're going to turn that one in to either myself or Miss Harrow. Then you're going to go back to the container and you're going to go, okay, there's a second folder, number 2. You're going to get out a paper from number 2. You're going to grab it. And this one's a little more challenging. It's our challenge one. If you don't finish this one, do not worry about it. No big deal. This one you get to take home with you. So this one, you're gonna put your name on, of course, and then you're gonna go through, and each of these different ones is gonna spell a word. So number 1 I did for you. It spells cab, C-A-B. So you'll look at the next one, which is number 4. And you'll say, okay, this is a line note. So every good boy does fine. Every good boy. You'd write down a B right here and you do the whole word. Then once you have it, this one is 4 across. You'd go up here, you'd find 4 across and you would fill it in. If this part's confusing to you, just go ahead and skip it. It's no big deal. The important stuff is down here that you answer the different words. When you're done with this one, or if you finish this one, you get to take it home with you. Don't worry about turning this one in. When you are all done, make sure all pencils go back into the container. If the pencil needs sharpened, you can sharpen it before you put it away. There's also an answer key right here. You can check over your answers when you are done. Do not use this before you are done, but all of your answers are right here to help you out. That's the worksheet station.